My name is Linda Maring. I work for Deltares, which is an applied research institute on water and the subsurface in the Netherlands. And I was, together with my colleague Bart, in the lead of the national reviews of the CASRI project. We used a workshop template for the workshops that could be adjusted. We used also a stepwise and participatory approach during the whole project. So the national contacts did interviews, they had desktop research, and then per team they had a lot of research topics. In the workshop, we presented those research topics and we also discussed it. So together there was some discussion in round tables and the national key stakeholders could say, do we agree, do we disagree about these topics? What do we miss for each of the CASRI teams? After that, when we had the overview and the national key stakeholders agreed on this overview per CASRI team, we did some prioritizing and synthesizing. So we tried to narrow the material down to the most important aspects. And the method used here was quite simple. We used sticky dots. And people could just indicate what they thought was most important for their country. And after that, there was also a combined discussion again with the national key stakeholders. What should be sent from the national perspective to the CASRI project, and what should end up in the combined strategic research agenda according to them. So in this way, everybody was heard and could give their opinion. Most national contacts also made a workshop report after the workshops, and they sent it to the national key stakeholders so they could see what were the results. This was also important because not all the key stakeholders that were interviewed could also attend the workshop. And then afterwards, in the end, the overall report was also sent to some of the national key stakeholders. So they could also see the final report and give their final opinions also about the completeness of this work. Again, for the reporting, we used a template and also a tiered approach. So we had first interim reports after the interviews and the desktop exercise that the national contacts did. And then also after the workshop, we finalized the reports. In this way, we could intervene timely when we saw that some countries gave a very elaborated overview of some topics and other ones had very limited information. We could address this and discuss this. So between the interim and the final report, people could get extra information in the workshops that were still to be done at that time. And after the final report, we also find some differences or lacking information. And in that way, we asked the national contacts why this was, why information was missing, for example. We could ask them to go back to the national key stakeholders to get some more information or to find them themselves in the desktop study, for example. And in some cases, we just had differences because of the running activities or the dynamics in a country or in an organization. Some people already had workshops before the CASRI project and they did not want to repeat that. Other ones could not do a workshop, so there were differences. And in the case that these differences were important because they could give biases in the outputs, we explained this in the national reports in the description of the workflow, and we also gave what the effect of these differences could be in the results. For example, you want to know, is this specific issue not existing in this country, or did we just not ask it to the national key stakeholders? That kind of difference should be clear. Then in the final report, there are still differences. They were explained in the workflow, But in the end, I think we have a wealth of information, and we also could indicate the national differences and details. They can still be found in this report. So this result is very rich, and that is thanks to the national context and the national key stakeholders. And yeah, we are very happy with it in the end.